Let's welcome back Dez Fafara from DevilDriver back to the Talk To Me podcast here, notfest.com. Dez, how are we doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you very much. And I apologize for the delay because for people who don't know, I was a little delayed getting on here, but I've been doing interviews for this record. And I appreciate you guys' support and appreciate, like I was saying, you wearing the Cash shirt.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that, you're a little late running to the podcast because the one thing I gather from listening to Dealing with Demons Part 2 is a lot of dealing with time, and it's a lot of dealing with the mortality, it seems like, and just time in general is kind of a running theme, man. Is that on purpose, or is that something I picked up on?
I think, it is. And I'm just trying to say to everybody, hey, man, make the best of your life.
Yeah.
If you got somebody that you love, tell them now, because you could walk out in the middle of the street, get hit by a streetcar. Like it is, if you're in San Francisco where there's still streetcars,
Right.
But I mean, that could happen. And so, yeah, take your life to new limits by actually waking up in the morning, having some gratitude, saying thank you to the universe for just having like a breath of life. You know what I mean?
Was this written? I'm assuming this is written pre your deal with COVID, man. I know you had a rough go of it, so I don't know if you were kind of looking at your own mortality at the time during the COVID treatments and all that stuff, or it just happened that way.
Even my wife has said, "What a weird prophetic record." So for people who don't know about the last couple of years in our lives as a family, like I'll do it real quick, and so we don't have a big bummer here. But like my wife went through cancer in 2019, cancer surgeries. I had to tear everything down, and us as a family, of course, had to get behind her. Then, of course, the pandemic. And then in 2021, I decided to go out to my gym and say, screw the mask. I don't care. I'm going to see if I'm still signed up. And 48 hours later, I came home with, 104-degree fever, subsequently getting driven to a makeshift hospital, a guy in a hazmat suit grabbing me out of the car going, take this one first. And I was like, this is it. This is how it's going to go. And I had to live. I suffered heart problems from it. I had to live downstairs here in my living room for about 9 months because I couldn't navigate my stairs. I couldn't walk across the street to get my mail without sitting down. And my wife got me through, actually. So we all as a family got her through her thing. And she got me through by saying, well, what will get you through, right? Let's listen to music, because I'm not a TV guy. So we're listening to music all day long. She's getting up, putting on vinyl and hanging out. And I'm like, here's what will get me through. I want to do one more show, sing one more song, lay one more song or one more record. So she just kept telling me, you'll get through it. You'll get through it. So no, I think maybe it was prophetic writing, but no, it didn't factor into the record. But it is how I think about life, which is like, don't waste your life. Try to do charity works. Try to be good to the people around you. Try to tell people that you love them. Try to do the best that you can. Try to enjoy your life. Don't do anything you hate. I have a management company. I mean, the Oracle sign is actually behind me right now. I love everything I do. I'm up at 5 a.m. working for my bands. I love that part of the industry. I love making music. I was up till 2:30 last night writing, and I wrote for the new stuff that we're already writing right now as DevilDriver. And then to be celebrating this record, and this is where I'm going with this, 2.5 years on ice, this thing has been sitting. So double record, Dealing with Demons 1, Dealing with Demons Volume 2, supposed to come out a year apart. Volume 1 came out middle of the pandemic in 2020, which I was told maybe not be a great idea, but it's when people needed music, in my opinion. That's when I wanted to release it. That thing came out number, 3 or 4 throughout the United States, like right behind Lamb of God and Testament. Very proud of that. But this record specifically has been sitting on ice for 2.5 years, 2.5 years plus. And I mean, so much so, and I've never done this in my almost 30 years of a career and 16 records with both bands, Cold Chamber, DevilDriver. I've never changed the sequence so many fucking times in my life. Like, I swear to God, the guy who had mastered my record, Alan Duche's mastered, huge albums. I called him the third time. And I'm like, man, I think I Have No Pity has to open this record. He's like, Dez, I swear to God, don't do this to me. Because it's not as simple as just changing. He's got to go in and resequence and do all sorts of stuff that he's got to do, for the label. And he's like, promise me. This is the last time. He goes, I'll bet you now, because he's already had 3 calls from me over the course of the pandemic. And he's like, promise me, I'll make a bet with you, $5,000 if you change this sequence. I was like, man, I'll take that bet because It's over, and I know now what it has to be. So yeah, just again, as an artist, I think you sit around and you have this piece of work sitting here on ice, and it's not until you start doing interviews like I've been doing the last couple of weeks and you start hearing, oh my God, this record is fantastic, which I'm so appreciative and so grateful for, man. I tell you, it humbles me, on a daily basis. And, for places like, musicians will understand this, but people won't. If you go to Germany, Germans are very hard to please. The German metal community is very hard to please. And when you're talking to, German Metal Hammer, and the guy's like, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the best record you guys have ever done. And I'm sitting on my 10th record. I feel blessed. And you could probably attest to this, right? So two things. When a band tries to take on a double record, usually the second volume is all B-sides and leftovers.
Right.
I wanted to make sure that wasn't true. Second, if you have 2 to 4 years, 2 records in this business, it's a miracle, really honestly, that you even got in and had that. If you have 7 to 10 years, it's like get on your knees every day, like until they bleed and thank the universe, right? But I've been in it almost 30 years. I got almost 16 records. And to get to the 10th record and have it be what it is and have it be received the way that it is, it's like, it leaves me speechless, man. I'll be honest with you. It leaves me speechless sometimes. And it gets emotional for me, man, because we work so hard on this. These records are supposed to come out back to back a year after each other, right? That didn't happen because of obviously the best laid plans are meant to be are meant to go into failure, right? But then to have it sitting in the can like it is, and then come out and have it just so well received, and then we kept them short as well. So I don't know, people need to know this, but Dealing with Demons 1 and 2 are meant to be listened back to back. Like that's why they're 36 minutes long, 38 minutes long. I mean, a normal record is 48, 50 minutes, like. And I grew up on punk rock and goth and psychobilly. Like there was no 4 7-minute tracks in those genres, man, unless you're maybe Bauhaus. And then you're like, God, I wish it, the 7-minute song, you're like, I wish it was 10 minutes,
Right.
So it's cool. I mean, and then after COVID came, hit me. I mean, I was on my deathbed. So for people who don't know, and, so it's great to be talking to you. I mean, because Absolutely. My wife was calling my friends. I mean, calling Cold Chamber going, you guys better talk to Dez. The EMTs were just here for the 3rd time this week. Like, I don't know if he's going to make it. So like just doing an interview right now, being able to write last night. Like I got out of my bed at 2 a.m. My wife was still asleep. I went down to my studio and I wrote till 4 this morning. Like, because I only sleep 4 to 5 hours a night. It's just how I am. It used to drive my mom crazy as a kid and drives my wife nuts. But it's, doctors say I'm good and it is what it is. It's all I sleep. So I got up and did art, and I'm so blessed. Like every time I put pen to page or do an interview or, came down this morning, I put on vinyl, I started my day with Black Flag and went into Black Sabbath before I called you, you know what I mean?
Nice.
So yeah, it feels good.